Hey guys, today I'm going to take a look at the Bugs 3 Mini by MJX. This is one of the newest in the Bugs lineup, and this is supposed to be like a mini version of the big Bugs 3. Boy, this thing is fantastic. It is super fast. I bet it does 50 miles an hour. It is super fast, very agile, and just a really fun flyer. Let's take a look at the box. You know, it's a much smaller box, being a much smaller drone. It's got angle mode, which is your stabilized mode, and you can fly this in full acro, though I would not recommend it because, you know, it doesn't have FPV. It's very difficult to fly acro line of sight. If you crash this, you're going to bust it. The arms are a bit flimsy, and so you're going to break it quite easy. Several people have broken theirs trying to fly it in acro mode. It has 1306 2750 kV brushless motors, so very fast brushless motors running on 2S LiPo, and it uses a telemetry system just like the Bugs 3, which tells you when it's low or weak signal and low battery. So that pretty much covers everything on the box there. Let's go back to the drone. It has that front facing white LED, which the big Bugs 3 has, so it makes orientation super easy. They're really easy to locate that right white LED. It's got white LEDs in the front, I believe it's blue in the back, just like the Bugs 3, big Bugs 3 on the arms. So those are also easy to see. You'll see it in my flight review. I've already filmed that, and it's kind of a cloudy, gloomy day like today, and it's pretty easy to see all the lights on this. It also does allow you to pop off the canopy here on top, just like the big Bugs 3. So if you just pop this off here, you can see there's the circuit board. And here's where you can swap out the LED for like a AIO cam. They make a little FPV camera, and that would be what you'd want for trying acro mode. But you know, I have a little AIO cam I just got today, and I could certainly put that in there. Though you have to modify, you know, cut out some of the front to allow the cloverleaf, you know, antenna to protrude from the top. But that's what you're going to want to do if you want to fly this guy in acro mode. I'll show you in a minute here if I can get the top here pop back on. Pretty easy to take this on and off, just like the big Bugs 3. There we go. Let's see. Let's look at the battery it comes with. It comes with a 7.4 volts. It's a 2S, just like the big Bugs 3. It's 850 milliamp hour, 45C. So it gives a pretty good punch to this thing. Like I said, it's fast. It flies around 9 to 10 minutes. In flight review, I think I was somewhere in the 9-minute range before the low voltage telemetry goes off. And what it does is, not only will your controller beep and let you know that the battery is low, but the drone's lights flash, which you expect, and the drone was beeping at me, which is pretty cool. It lets you know in two ways, you know, double telemetry in the sense of both items beeping and let you know that it's time to land the drone. Like I said, it also will beep at you when it has a weak signal coming from the, I believe, just the controller itself. The battery does take quite a long time to charge, and it has this funky proprietary setup. That's probably my biggest thing that I dislike about the Bugs 3 Mini is this proprietary battery. You have to slide this little thing on here, and you slide it up, and these 5 pins slide in, and then you've got a balance port plug which runs off this just USB wall charger. It seems to do a good job of charging it, but it's very slow. You're looking at, you know, 3 to 3.5 hours to charge this up, and unfortunately there's no real hobby grade options because of the way this is charged. So you're stuck with this or another balance port charging charger. I imagine you could modify this and pull the pins and plugs if you wanted to get into it and swap it to a more hobby grade charger, so you could use some sort of hobby grade pack modified to fit in here. I'm sure somebody will be doing that, but as it comes, you know, it's a slow charge, but you do get a good, like I said, a good 9 to 10 minute flight time out of it. It's got a, you know, prop guards it comes with. If you choose to use it, I don't mess with that. It's got a full set of extra props, which is good. Phillips screwdriver and a prop removal tool. It's got a quick start guide here, which is nice to give you just an overview if you want to know the basics to get it up in the air. And of course you got your full-size instruction manual as well. It weighs 180 grams with the battery in it, so that's below the FAA's limits in the United States to register, since they've reinstated that registration requirement. So you don't have to worry about putting any your identification number on this drone. Let's go ahead and look at the controller. This is a really nice controller, very comfortable. The antennas do, you can adjust them however you want them to be oriented. You got your lights to turn off and on here if you want to save a little battery power. This is you press it to lock and unlock, a quick press to unlock and a long press to lock the motors. You have 2 rates. The yaw does increase, and so does the pitch. It's really sporty in a low rate, and it's really sporty in a high rate. This would be if you have the camera module version. You could take video and photo. And your trim buttons here, of course, there's no altitude hold. There are buttons here on the back, L2 and L1. You press in on L1 here, and then as you hold it, then you can do a flip whichever direction you want, but you have to continue to hold the button in, just like on the Big Bugs 3. And it flips exceptionally well. Super tight and powerful flips. As you expect with a brushless drone, this thing is just fantastic at flipping. As you'll see in the flight review, the L2 here, it doesn't do anything on this. At this moment, it doesn't do anything. Now this switch here is for switching between your air mode, or your angle mode, angle mode, which is stabilized mode, and full acro. You cannot do this on the fly. So if you want to switch to acro mode, you got to land the quadcopter, power off the controller and the drone, put it in switch position 2, then power up the controller and the drone, and then you can fly it in acro. And like I said, I do not recommend flying this in acro mode unless you've got some FPV system on it and you've got experience flying in acro, because this thing is at 40-50 miles an hour. It's going to be very easy to crash it, and from what other people have said, a very small crash will bust the arms on this thing. As you can see, the arms have a little flex to them. The Big Bugs 3 was a little sturdier. It just seems like these arms break quite easily for people from a rather minor crash. But flying and stabilized, I've had no problems at all with it. It flies extremely well, though it does tend to do a little bit of a dip at times and let off the throttle. I'm not sure what that is, but it's never caused a problem. It just kind of looks funny. So I'm hoping that we got everything covered here. There's a lot of little things about this with the low voltage and the telemetry letting you know, that the battery's low, and letting you know that that you're getting out of range on it. So like I said, a lot of little things with this drone, but overall, a fantastic little drone. If you're interested in it, I've got a coupon code that drops it down, I think $83, but I'm not sure, from RC Moment. So make sure you grab that coupon code if you're interested, so that you can get it for a much better price, because this is a fantastic little flyer, a really nice little drone. So I think that covers all the basics on this guy. So let's go ahead and we'll move along to the flight review. Okay guys, so I have the Bugs 3 Mini out here, ready for the test flight. I'm just going to be flying it with the switch up in 1 and stabilized mode, line of sight. I don't recommend flying this in acro unless you had an FPV cam to it, because it's going to be very difficult to fly it in full acro mode. And as I mentioned, it's just, it's not the most sturdiest drone, so it would be pretty easy to bust this thing if you smash it into the ground. So we're just going to fly it in fully stabilized mode. So let's go ahead and we'll unlock the motors here. I'm going to go ahead and take it up. You can see the blue lights in the back and the white in the front. There's a nice yaw rate. It is really sporty. I mean, even in the lowest rate, that's the lowest rate. Look at that thing. I think this thing flies as good as the Bugs 3. Though sometimes you can see that it kind of like drops on me a little bit. And see how it did that? I've never had it crash, but it's kind of an odd, like it lets up and it kind of looks like that's the only thing I can really find wrong with this so far, is that. But so far it's not been a problem, but I'm not sure exactly what it's doing there. Let's go ahead and take it up. There's quite a bit of noise here, I apologize, some loud vehicles. There's a yaw on lowest rate. Let's go ahead and take it up to highest rate, and the yaw is even faster. Look at how fast that is. Wow. I think it probably does 50. I try to bring it. See, see how it kind of like tips, kind of leans, almost like it's the gyro is kind of like stabilizing itself there, and it's kind of odd. Like I said, it has enough power to recover, but I'm not exactly sure why it's doing that. Look at this thing. I mean, it's just, and it's got that nice white light in the front, just like the Bugs 3, big Bugs 3. So it's really easy to maintain your orientation with this. Nice long flyer too. There's full pitch doing a funnel. There's full funnel. Look at that. Really, really neat. Let's do some flips. Now, just like the Bugs 3, you have to maintain holding the button in while you tilt the direction you want to flip. As you can see, it flips really good. Really, really good flips. Forward flip. Let's do a back flip. And this is a really nice drone. Aside from that funky little drop it does a few times when I'm throttling down, it seems like that's whenever it see, you can, I think it could just be me letting off the throttle maybe a little bit, I don't know, too much I should say. So you can really bring it down quick letting off the throttle, since it doesn't have altitude hold or anything like that. So yeah, you need to be somewhat, at least past a novice to be able to fly this. If you're a beginner, I would not recommend starting out with this. It's just too fast. It's just going to be too easy to crash this, and like I said, if you crash it, you're going to break it. There's just no way around it. With the full-size Bug 3 was a little bit sturdier, though mine still did have like it fell out of the sky on a throttle punch. There was just something wrong with the first one I had, and it broke 2 arms. So my second Bugs 3 has been great. Pretty gloomy day here today and kind of foggy, but that should make these LEDs even easier to see. Look at that, boy, that is fast. Not racer fast, but I tell you what, it's not that far off of maybe a 3S racer. So this is only run, of course, on 2S, but yeah, I mean, it's probably some racers would be similar speed to this. Really, probably a 2S racer, not a 3S. 3S is still going to be faster than this, but like I said, I think it probably does, close to 50. The small brush quads that I have, brushless quads that I have, this one and the XK-X251 would be the fastest little brushless drones I have, and I think that I like this one even probably more than the XK-X251. Because of the light arrangements, it's easier to keep orientation. I think they're similar speed. Of course, it's got a low battery telemetry. I mentioned earlier. It will beep and let you know whenever the battery is starting to get low. It will also beep a different beep whenever it is getting out of range, close to out of range, to let you know that the signal is weak. That way, to bring it back, because you can tell with that white light you can fly that quite a way, especially in a gloomy day like today. Full sunshine, it's not going to be as easy to see, but let's do a couple more flips here. I don't want to fly this too far from you guys, because I know it's going to be hard, especially me filming this myself, to keep it in the view. Wow, just an excellent little quadcopter. With all this pitch in the high, and I'm still in the highest rate, you're gonna have no problem flying this in, 10 mile per hour winds or so. Even probably up to 15, even though it's small. It's got so much power and pitch, I don't think it's gonna have a problem fighting wind. Ooh. Just, see, I mean, I'm not an expert flyer. I'm not like good at acro or anything, but even there, I just about took it into my house by just being a little bit too aggressive. You can turn the lights off, which you can save a little bit of power. There's the lights off. It turns off, well, it doesn't turn off the front light, so you still got the orientation. You're gonna save a little battery power, but I'm just gonna leave them on. So if you're a fan of the Bugs family or a fan of the Bugs 3 and you've flown this fully manual, stabilized but no altitude hold quadcopter, and you can handle the brushless, the power this has, I highly recommend this drone. Just be mindful that, you know, if you're gonna fly at acro, you better be good at it, because if you crash it, you're gonna bust it. There's a link, a purchase link in the description. It's got a coupon code. I don't remember the exact price with the coupon. I want to think it was $83, but please don't hold me to that. I just don't remember. I was given a coupon code to add to it that will drop the price on this down. So if you check RC Moments website and use that, you can get it. I don't also recall the shipping, if it was free. It probably was. So just check that link if you are interested in it, because that's a pretty good price on this little drone. There, I kicked the pot over. Wasn't, you know, keeping my eyes on the drone and not looking at where I'm walking. Pushed a little flower pot over here on my back patio. This is a lot of fun. I think this would be really cool to add a little AIO FPV cam to it. As much power as it has, I don't see that being any issue at all. You know, the big Bugs 3 could carry an action cam with no problem. So an AIO cam is not going to be any problem, or even like a run cam or a Q6 or a Mobius. Those are going to have no problems either on this. If you set up FPV, this would be a great FPV flyer. And at that point, I think, you know, flying an acro would be probably fine. Like I said, if you crash it, you're gonna bust it. And there's the low battery telemetry beeping. So an AIO cam on this would be fine in acro. Like I said, it's still 2S, so at its size, it's probably not going to be still the greatest acro flyer. So I'm gonna go ahead and land it down here in front of my pool. Go ahead and hold the motor lock in and turn off the motors. So that low battery telemetry, the beeping here, it's beeping here on the quadcopter and the controller. That's really helpful to let you know, because obviously you don't want this thing falling out of the sky. Like I said, or it's gonna bust. So let's go ahead and turn this stuff off here, because that's gonna be really annoying. Listen to that. Now it's going really crazy because it no longer has the connected to the controller. So overall, this is a really fun little quadcopter. Quite a bit of fun. Like I said, very fast, very agile. But again, to reiterate, I would not fly it in acro mode unless you had FPV and you've got experience of that. Otherwise, you are going to bust it. So overall, neat little drone. Stay tuned, guys. Got plenty more things to review, and hope you guys have a good day.
The power of the dark side.